Hi everyone, I'm Gina Go and the Channel Inclusion and Impact Senior Strategy Lead at Microsoft. Welcome to this session today to talk about bringing solutions to market with hashtag Built for 2030 and driving social impact. Today, we're going to talk about how as tech businesses, we can be a huge driver for change. We're going to talk about the market opportunity and hear from change-making leaders and how through the Microsoft hashtag Built for 2030 initiative, we can work together to bring solutions to market and make a difference. Let's jump in. We're now operating in a transformed business landscape, and the needs of customers and communities have shifted. We know that diversity drives innovation and that more diverse companies outperform their competition. By embracing diversity, we can help the industry address talent shortages. Bold climate action can deliver $43 trillion to the global economy by 2070. And more than 70% of CEOs are acknowledging the increasing pressure to deliver on their climate ambitions. Investors are increasing in their environmental, social, and governance focus, or ESG for short. There are more than 120 trillion of assets under management aligned with the UN principles for responsible investment. And customers are looking to increase the diversity and sustainability of their supply chains to meet investor expectations and reporting requirements. That's why we're enabling Microsoft partners with the choice to self-attest as a diverse owned or led business and upload relevant certifications in Partner Center. We're making that information available in our marketplace and co-sell channels so that customers and Microsoft sellers can discover these diverse and impact businesses. I encourage partners to learn more and stay tuned as we continue to roll out this capability. How can we accelerate progress and more inclusive and sustainable growth together? The UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, are a set of 17 global goals adopted by UN member states in 2015, providing a shared blueprint for a better future and sustainability for all, intended to be achieved by 2030. The Microsoft hashtag Built for 2030 initiative was started as a call to action to accelerate innovation and change-making and to bring transformational solutions and services to market together with partners in support of the SDGs. The initiative focuses on harnessing our collective impact across 5 areas: gender equality, climate action and sustainability, accessibility and disability inclusion, enabling nonprofits, and empowering communities. We support participating partners to skill up and gain technical and change-making skills, build and publish your impact solution to the marketplace, and to get feature opportunities once published. Now into its 3rd year, we're excited to have featured more than 220 solutions on the marketplace and have had more than 900 participants at the inaugural Built for 2030 hackathon last year. And we're inviting all partners to participate in the hackathon returning this September and to join us on this change-making journey together. And on this journey, what has been truly inspiring is engaging with Microsoft partners who are already leading the way with their purpose-driven businesses that are making an impact with customers, their employees, and the communities they touch. I'd like to bring on and introduce Jacob Shrew from Catalyte, Julia Armstrong-Denese from Earth Knowledge, and Helen Tinnelly from Propel. Jake, Julia, Helen, welcome. I'm so excited for our audience to hear from you. Jake, if you can kick us off with a short introduction on who you are, your role at your company, and what your business does.
Hi, I'm Jake Shrew, and I'm the CEO of Catalyte. Catalyte produces tech talent where no one else can. We unleash human potential by developing extraordinary tech talent from unexpected places. We're using technology and data analytics to discover people from all walks of life who have hidden aptitudes and attitudes that predict for success in careers in technology. We then invest in their skills transformation and training, and we hire them into an apprenticeship program where they're then deployed into companies as entry-level software developers, digital media planners, and data and product analysts. Most tech apprentices eventually become permanently hired by those companies. Our ability to source, develop, and deploy tech talent from non-traditional backgrounds simultaneously solves the overall tech industry talent challenge. It helps employers diversify and create a more inclusive tech workforce. And ultimately, it creates opportunities and removes barriers to tech careers for people, regardless of their pedigree. With that, let me turn it over to Julia.
Thanks, Jake. I'm Julia Armstrong-Dagnese, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Earth Knowledge. Earth Knowledge is a mission-driven, for-profit company focused on building a sustainable world. We're actually building a digital twin of the Earth, providing integrated planetary intelligence platform for the financial sector and the corporate sector in order for them to be able to have the most authoritative, highest caliber science information to mitigate their risks related to their operations, supply chains, and investments, and harness opportunities of global change. Our main product is Earth Knowledge Foresight. To you, Helen.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Helen Tinnelly. I'm the founder and CEO of Propellalo. Propellalo is the world's first purpose-built AI gender equality platform. We power women's confidence, capabilities, and careers in support of UN SDG 5. One of our programs, Boomerang, supports mothers returning to the workplace and won the Microsoft hashtag Built for 2030 hackathon for gender equality earlier this year. And I'm delighted to be here, Gina.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. And so I'd love for us to just dig a bit deeper. I'd love for you to share a bit more about your journey, what led you down this path, and what drove that deep connection to the societal challenge that you're looking to solve for. Jake, why don't you start?
Yeah. Our mission is to create a more diverse and productive tech workforce. Right? Catalyte was founded in 2000 by Michael Rosenbaum, who at the time was a research fellow at Harvard. This was during that first dot-com boom when HTML was becoming the top in-demand skill that very few companies had. He was also a White House fellow in the Clinton administration, and he had advocated that underserved urban populations contain just as many people with talent, skills, and potential to succeed in software development as any other place. The problem was that we've created a system that overlooked their abilities because it values pedigree. Where'd you go to school? Where'd you work before? Over innate ability. 20 years later, we've given over 1,000 people the opportunity to launch family-sustaining tech careers. We've created a more diverse tech workforce and can predictably move people who graduate from our program from the bottom of the income stack to the top of the income stack. In fact, today, 62% of the people who graduate from our program come from an underrepresented community in technology. And the average wage of an individual who joins our program was about $12.50 an hour in their last job before coming over. Within 5 years, the average income that they're making is $98,000 a year.
Wow, that's just incredible to hear, those statistics. And that's truly what inclusive economic opportunity is. And Helen, you're also solving for diversity in tech. Tell us more about your story.
My personal story is I'm one of 4 girls, and we were very much raised as strong women to believe we could be anything we wanted to be. And it's always been that way throughout my career, even a career in tech, until I hit my 30s. And then very subtly, I started noticing brilliant, amazing women, friends and colleagues around me, starting to bow out or drop out of the workplace. 1 in 5 women will leave the workplace entirely within 5 years of having a baby, and 5% of the female workforce globally disappeared during the pandemic, which is a travesty. And it's this critical middle level that's contributing to the pay gap overall and gender equality in the workplace. The cost of childcare, the lack of flexible working, and the lack of support from employers are what's driving women out of the workplace. It's a tragedy, and it's also really foolish business in 2022. To build a solution for Build for 2030, I interviewed a number of moms at my daughter's school, and over again, I heard about the stress, loneliness, and feeling they were being set up to fail about their return to work. And that's where our solution came from. one woman had worked out that she would actually be paying her employer for her to do her job if she went back to work. And as she said, you'd have to really love your job if you were going to do that. But even still, she said if her employer would reach out with even a gesture to show she was valued, she probably would return and ride it out. They didn't, and she subsequently didn't return. My mom raised 4 very strong daughters to believe that we could do anything we wanted to be. And 30 years later, we are still having this conversation. I'm raising my daughter now, and I really don't want to be having this conversation in 30 years where she might have to face a choice between having a career or having a family. And that's why we're here, our purpose behind Propelling.
I remember your application and submission to the Build for 2030 hackathon. And so many of us in the judging pool was just feeling so strongly that this was true innovation, right? Innovation that tackles the needs of women and working mothers all around the world. So thank you for that. Let's switch gears to sustainability. Julia, you're really in that space and you're building something that's truly ambitious. I'd love to hear more.
Hearing other people's stories is just so inspiring. So I hope ours as well. So Dr. Frank Dagnese and I co-founded Earth Knowledge in 2003, knowing that Earth information, Earth knowledge, was critical in order to build a sustainable world, to get the wisest decisions and integrate this massive amount of brilliant science all over the world, but yet make that information understandable and actionable, thinking good for the planet, people, and profit, right? We were way ahead of the market at that point. However, fast forward to now in 2020, and we are at an unprecedented transformational global shift towards sustainability. The financial sector is feeling all kinds of pressure related to climate risk and nature risk and what their profile really is. There's going to be over $53 trillion invested in sustainability connected assets by 2025. That's just a few years away. So with corporations and the financial sector prioritizing sustainability, that's now starts at the board level and then spreads to different departments and really throughout the company. So the opportunity is huge for the financial sector and corporations to really make a difference. Now they see that climate risk is investment risk. Regulations and pressure in all kinds of different ways is emerging to actually expose that climate risk, the ESG risks that are there, and then any negative impact to the earth and to nature. So as we can see, brands are more attractive that are actually truly sustainable, both by consumers as well as by employees. So the time is really now, and it's shifted in amazing ways, far beyond what we had ever hoped. Our product, Earth Knowledge Foresight, really can provide that pathway to assess current and future risks to really any location on the globe, to help companies' operations and supply chains and investments actually mitigate climate risk, maximize their opportunities, and go nature positive rather than damaging the earth. There's all kinds of potential now with the information and data that we have to really drive truly a more sustainable world.
Yeah, and Julia, I'd love to just dive a little bit deeper there, because I know in our past conversations you talk about your product and the earth really as being a system of systems. So I'd love for you to share more there on that journey and what it took to get there, where you're really building out that digital twin, the vision of a digital twin.
Since 2003, Frank and I really have believed that the most accurate information comes from understanding how the Earth's systems interact, because the Earth is a system of systems. It's just like in the medical profession. If someone has a heart condition, the first thing that we do, right, is do blood work and check where the other systems are before we make a decision about what's best to do. And the planet is the same way. In our journey, however, we had a lot of pressure over time saying that we weren't focused enough. We needed to build a water app or an ag app or a climate app and just focus on one fragment of the Earth systems. And we would say we're actually very focused. What we're focused on is replicating how the Earth really works, because that gives you the absolute best and most accurate way to make those decisions. So that's why And we've held very fiercely tight to this kind of vision and commitment. That's what we believe the world really needs, is to be able to understand how the planet operates, how we as humans are interacting with the planet, affecting the planet, and the planet affecting us, and then to be able to make the best decisions.
Yeah, I love that. And I think you're really talking about systemic impact and systemic change. And same with the business model of Catalyte and Propello, similar, right? You're looking at ways and innovation, not just in your solutions, but in your business model to drive change at a deeper level. And so I'll turn back to Jake and Helen here. If you can share more also about the market context that you're seeing, what opportunity and trends are there, and how are they changing? And what have you heard from some of the customers in the industry on the value of your solution and your business model? Maybe Jake first, and then we'll go to Helen.
Thanks, Gina. A more diverse tech workforce is a higher performing workforce. The barriers that we've created that keep people out of the tech industry by focusing on pedigree, things like education, right, and where your previous work experience, it hurts innovation, right? It kills productivity, and it reduces the bottom line for companies. There is no statistical correlation between what you did before and your performance on your next job. From an economist standpoint, people tend to hire people from similar socioeconomic backgrounds as they are, right? So by removing pedigree from the equation puts historically excluded groups on equal footing to launch new tech careers, right? So by rethinking about what great talent looks like and how you can find it, we can transform individuals and create opportunities for them. We can transform companies, and we can ultimately empower communities for the better. And what this ultimately does is it unlocks abundance of talent, right? So today, one of the things that employers are astounded by is the fact that we can source great, extraordinary talent by zip code anywhere across the United States, right? We could even source talent by partnering with the right companies for demographics. So we can create now an abundant, affordable, predictable pipeline of talent that's diverse and higher performing. And that's one of the things that we hear time and time again from employers. The magic of this is that what employers have seen is that people from non-traditional backgrounds are bringing a whole lot more transferable skills to these jobs than what they've gotten through traditional means. Right? They tell us that routinely, without Catalyte, they would never have been able to find these individuals. And we've actually seen now that the people that we are deploying into companies are being promoted faster. They're actually getting faster salary progressions, and they're becoming leaders in these organizations. And ultimately, with a conversion rate of about 91% of our apprentice developers, meaning 91% of our people end up becoming permanent employees of these companies, customers are starting to really recognize the value and performance inherent in a workforce that's selected by aptitude versus pedigree.
I love that. And again, we also know that diversity builds more resilience in companies and organizations. And I think that will put, businesses on a better path, right, to navigate some of the complexities and the changes and the challenges that we're constantly facing today. Helen, your thoughts?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And I think both you and Jake have given examples today of why diversity and investing in it is a no-brainer for any organization. And actually already we're seeing the companies that have made those investments are seeing the results. They're winning. They're pushing clear blue water between themselves and the laggards, the companies who are still thinking, yes, it's a priority and we'll get to it, and don't get to it on the to-do list until it's too late, whilst the other companies are like leading employers, winning customers, top line results. So absolutely amazing what we're seeing from diversity. It also impacts the bottom line. One Big Four told me that the cost alone of replacing women who don't return from maternity is $68 million a year. It's also clear business sense that if you support more women in your organization, they will contribute faster and they will be more loyal to the organization. And then finally, I don't think we can ignore the wave of regulation that's been introduced. For example, the EU non-financial reporting regulation, pay gap reports that are driving companies with over 250 employees to think about this. I think companies are grasping now is the time. If you haven't already taken action, do now. And what we have found, we typically work with HR directors in tech and engineering companies, 250 to 1,000 employees. Absolutely get the problem, but don't have the resources of the big companies, the big corporates to attract and to retain these women and set up the programs. So that's where we step in with our product. Our solution supports smaller businesses with a platform so that all women in the organization, from graduates, career changers, returning mothers, menopause, all of them can access the support that they need with cross-company communities, coaches, and using AI to measure impact that otherwise just wouldn't be feasible for a smaller company to do themselves. So employers that work with us can save the time and money of doing it themselves, can get started immediately rather than having it on the to-do list for someday and at a fraction of the cost of doing it themselves. And that's really how we can help companies really drive this impact in the world.
You know, Helen, I love that you're tackling the mid-market space and small business space, because all businesses should benefit from diversity and have the support and the technology now to do that. So that's incredible. And I'm looking forward to see your solution in market and really driving forward toward that vision for us all. We're coming to the end shortly, but I want to touch on a couple more points here. Build for 2030 is about our collective impact together. And what I think is wonderful is that all of you are great partners of Microsoft. So I'd love for you to share a bit about your partnership with Microsoft and how you've engaged with the initiative. Let's start with you, Helen, a little bit more from you, and then we'll move to Jake and Julia.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't speak highly enough of the support that Microsoft has given us. It's not just the monetary award, but it's the introductions, the network, support with the tech build, go-to-market support. It's open doors that as a startup we would only dream of. And wow, when the cloud enablement desk said to me last week, we're all rooting for you, I think that's exactly what it sums up. Everyone at Microsoft wants you to succeed and goes out of their way to help you. And just referring back to the women I interviewed as part of our solution, one woman said, I'm telling you my story so you can help others. And here I am literally on a world stage telling her story. And that's the power of Build for 2030.
Yeah, well, I'm just so glad we can bring that platform to the voices of people all around the world, and that each of you are helping amplify that. And Jake, what's your partnership journey with Microsoft like?
So Microsoft has been a tremendous partner, right? And has been a tremendous partner to help organizations to see past the theoretical and see and put Build for 2030 goals into practice. And through Microsoft, through the advocacy of Microsoft and the partner network, we've been able to connect with other, like-minded Microsoft partners to build a better and more inclusive and equitable tech industry. For Catalyte, Build for 2030 meant like creating gender equality in the tech industry and empowering communities to take full advantage of the skills and talent that are already existing in their midst. And so, for example, when our team participated in the Build for 2030 hackathon entry, and the team that we put together of over 20 people had gender parity, right? So the team also was ranged from ages from 24 to 62. We had team members who had skills, experiences anywhere from 4 months to 30 plus years in technology, all coming through the same approach. And the backgrounds of the people who actually came into this, who actually participated in the hackathon, included a librarian, a bartender, a consultant, a housekeeper, and a stay-at-home mom. So it's really helping, again, Microsoft with the partnership, been really helping partners to see past the theoretical and the academic and really see how we can actually create a much more affordable, diverse, predictable, and scalable tech talent pipeline for companies.
Awesome. And then Julia, I know you've been focused on product development, so I'd love to hear a bit more there about your partnership.
And I can't say enough about our partnership with Microsoft and Build for 2030, which we've been a part of in the last year as well as this year. With Build for 2030, we've gotten a lot more exposure with our customers and had sustainability and the SDGs right on the table for discussion right away. So that this is also a way that then people see that Earth Knowledge and Microsoft are leaders in sustainability, really making a difference. In terms of our partnership with Microsoft, we're working with outstanding architects to help build out our integrated planetary intelligence platform, as well as we're co-selling with incredible sales leads from the financial sector, selling Earth Knowledge Foresight together along with Microsoft Azure platforms. So it's just been an incredible experience. And each month, it seems that there's exponentially more that we can do together and more benefits all the way around for all of us involved.
Well, thank you so much to that commitment to partnering. I've truly enjoyed hearing about your products, your businesses, your stories. It's super inspiring. Let's close with a quick lightning round. If I can go around the room, what's something that's getting you excited right now about your business? And or, what advice would you give to another Microsoft partner who wants to grow their business aligned with social impact? Let's go to Jake, Helen, and then Julia.
Thank you. Well, the best choice for your business is also the right choice for society. That's really the lesson that I really love for people to take away here, right? Is that, if you can find talent from across all of society and not from just a narrow band of people who are lucky enough to graduate from the right college, you're going to create a much better, a more productive and diverse workforce for business. And you're also going to help create a more equitable and inclusive society. And so as we kind of look towards the future, we're going to be focused on expanding the number of career tracks, right, outside of the core software developer role. For Microsoft, that means a lot more specialties in dynamic CRM, Power Platform, and many, many other Microsoft platforms. And we're just looking forward to partnering with with Microsoft's partner network and the different GSIs to help build this ecosystem together.
And from Propello, we are excited about we're exploring a program with Microsoft UK partners to widen the tech talent pool by attracting more stay-at-home moms to enter tech careers. And my advice I would give to anyone who's still on the fence after hearing this panel is, if not now, when? If not you, who? Get involved in Build for 2030 in September. The bare minimum that will come out of it is you'll inject a new energy into your team, rallying around a purpose. And the best is, well, as you can see today, there are no limits. You can change the world.
And we are about at Earth Knowledge to release the first rev of our Earth Knowledge digital twin and our product, Earth Knowledge Foresight, at 1 kilometer. So anywhere then in the world, we can help mitigate these climate risks and nature risks. In terms of the time being now to really shift to embracing sustainability, we need to look at how we're interacting with nature and the ways that we can shift. And all of us can become more sustainable in one way or another, and fairly easy to do. The time with computational power, the financial and corporate sector being ready, the headlines that global change is impacting, whether it's fire risk or water or climate, that's regularly there, and customers really preferring brands that are truly sustainable. All of that is driving these changes that we would love for you to join and be a part of. There is no planet B, and this is our home. So we really hope that you join us in becoming more sustainable, that we can work hard, set aside our ego, roll up our sleeves, and come together in trust and commitment to build a more sustainable world, one decision at a time.
That was just such a wonderful conversation. I feel truly enriched by your stories and energized by your partnership with us. And most of all, just inspired by how you've designed and integrated social impact into your business growth journey and are driving so much change already in the world. So thank you, Julia, Jake, Helen, for your time, for your stories, for your insights. I can't wait to see each of your businesses and solutions make an even larger impact in the future together with us. Here are some resources for you to learn more on the topics we discussed today. Check out sessions on social value procurement and supplier diversity, accessibility, and on industry cloud opportunities in nonprofit and sustainability. In closing, I invite all of you to join us to Build for 2030. The upcoming hackathon in September is an excellent opportunity for you to engage with us and connect with other changemakers to create innovative and impactful solutions that our industry and communities need. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to the transformation and collective impact we'll drive together.